What's good everybody, Hip-Hop Listedly here with a brand new video. Today we're gonna talk about a Chicago gang, a gang with a lot of clout if you know what I mean. If you were born around 2000, it's a 100% chance you heard about FBG, a music group based on STL and EBT gang, the gang which we're gonna talk about today. So follow me into this video. So let's start with the beginning. STL EBT aka Tooka Gang 63rd is an alliance between the two gangster disciple sets STL and EBT. They are technically two sets in an alliance, however they are extremely close to the point where many members overlap, and they basically ride as one. However, if you want to be technical about it, EBT and STL are two different sets with basically the same history. STL EBT are located around the area of 63rd and St. Lawrence. Their exact territory runs from 63rd to 65th, Vernon to Champlain. EBT versus TYMB. The war between EBT and YMB 065 would start around late 2007 when it was originally members fighting until YMB would start doing walk-up shootings and drive-by shootings on EBT territory where EBT members were being put in the hospital. EBT would get revenge in 2009 when they would kill TY, making it the first body in the war. YMB would then rename themselves TYMB to honor TY. STL would then start joining in the wars EBT had, with members such as Tooka dissing TYMB members on Facebook. This would lead to Tooka being killed by TYMB in 2011, but we gotta talk about this later in the video. STL EBT versus O-Block. Older generations of STL and EBT already had murder beef with Wick City O-Block, but it would stop at some point in the newer generation. The new generation would start beefing in 2009 when Trey 5 started beefing with STL over a girl, but it would get serious when Tooka STL was killed by TYMB in January 2011. Wick City, which was close to TYMB, also started dissing Tooka, which caused STL to kill OD in August 2011, which Wick City changed to O-Block in OD's honor. This would cause EBT to join in the war with STL. Tooka was a gangster disciple from the set STL EBT who was the younger brother of Lil Mark 051 Young Money and the older brother of SCO STL EBT. After Tooka's death, STL EBT was renamed Tookaville and Tooka Gang. Sean Bill Gregory was born on August 11, 1995, and originally grew up in the Low End on 49th and Calumet. On January 12, 2011, at around 6:48 p.m., Tooka was at the bus stop on 63rd and St. Lawrence waiting to return home, until a dark-colored vehicle pulled up. An unknown passenger who was wearing a half-mask jumped out and shot Tooka. It is also rumored that the shooter would approach Tooka and would ask him what the time was and would then open fire after Tooka looked at his watch. In 2012, Chief Keith, who was a member of Tooka Cable's Ops, created the term smoking on Tooka, which is a huge form of disrespect in Chicago. He made it popular, so around 2013 a lot of famous faces started to say that without knowing what it really means. Modale. One of the fallen members of STL EBT is Modale, who was shot and killed by the famous rapper from Chicago King Von. Von shot him 3 times. Boss Trell. Boss Trell was also an STL EBT member, but he wasn't an ordinary gang member. He was a professional assassin. It is rumored he taught K, who was Trell's colleague, how to do it. Boss Trell was good with arms and there are videos on the internet with him operating guns. Boss Trell allegedly killed an enemy member known as Sherrod. Trell was murdered before he was trying to flee the town. It is rumored that UP members G Money and T-Roy were involved in this. Can't Get Right. Can't Get Right was also an STL EBT member. He was known by Man Man. Man Man was killed on 16th of June 2018 in front of a store by two gunmen. Around 2012, based on their gang beefs, gang members from STL EBT started rapping and dissing enemy gang members in their lyrics. That's how Flyboy Gang was born, with members like FBG Duck and STLOG. Lil J, aka the Clout Lord, Billionaire Black, an ex-Black Disciple member from Welch World, and many more STL and EBT members. They made a lot of noise in Chicago and around United States. In my opinion, they were better than Team 600, the music group, which I talked about in the previous video because they stayed together during a lot of years. Like any other hood rappers, FBG members were starting to disappear one by one. Lil J was the first one. He was arrested in 2015, held on a $400,000 bond and charged with irresponsible firearm discharge. For the charge, he was sentenced to 12 years in prison in 2019. He got out in 2021, but unfortunately he was arrested this year for a gun. The next one was FBG Brick, which was shot and killed in 2017. Another member from FBG had the same fate as his brother, FBG Duck. FBG Duck was murdered in broad daylight in the Gold Coast area of Chicago on August 7, 2020. Duck was killed by 5 Block members known as C Murda, Kenny Mac, Los Money, C Fang, and Miwa. Another known member who was murdered is FBG Cash. He got shot and killed 2 years after FBG Duck. Cash was driving with a female when a car pulled up and a shooter got out and started blasting at FBG Cash. Cash tried to fight back, reaching for his gun, but he had no time. The assassins shot him with a rifle. He was pronounced dead at the hospital. Other members of FBG or STL EBT had left Chicago like Billionaire Black and King Yella. STL EBT still around to this day in Chicago, but is known now as Marcus Way.